Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Join the movement. Listen to the Tori Lowe Show on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Last weekend, during a Senate committee public hearing, Republican lawmakers proposed a bill to instate, quote, blackout license plates. The style is similar to plates seen in Iowa or the Road America license plates. According to state representative and author of the bill, Paul Meltek, the financial benefit from selling these plates could help alleviate escalating costs for road projects and bridge construction jobs throughout the state. Governor Tony Evers currently backs the bill and indicated he will sign it if it reaches his desk. If it does pass, new plates could be available at the beginning of 2026. Milwaukee Public Schools says only 300 people will get lead screening today at North Division High School. Milwaukee Health Department Executive Director of Environmental Health, Tyler Weber, says that as the lead crisis continues, the city will continue to help, but says that the staff resources are spreading thin.
It's deeply challenging. It's been a big strain on our resources for our lab, for our staff, and very concerned for the students in MPS, and that's why we're working with them to scale this as best we can.
The clinic runs today from 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The West Allis Common Council votes to revoke the license for bar owner Neil Stefik, who owns the Drunk Uncle Bar. Stefik has received multiple complaints, including allegations of misconduct. This past weekend, the Drunk Uncle hosted a final event where all drinks were free. Then it ended with an assault, multiple injuries, and the City of West Allis Police Department shutting the bar down early. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's Wednesday, so today is hump day, y'all. So, we got to make it through. Got to take it easy. It's also Nurses Week that started in the middle of the week for some reason. I don't know, started on like a Wednesday or something. But anyway, happy Nurses Week, RN Week, whatever you would call it. I don't know. Happy Nurses Week. Okay. If you're an RN or an LPN or I guess those are the only kind of nurses or higher, nurse practitioner, want to say congratulations and thank you for your service to all mankind for, sacrificing and doing the things that you do. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Okay, we're done. I'm going home. I'm done. We're going home. So I've been touching on some touchy subjects in the past few days, and, you all tend to respond on the talking text line, but you don't respond. You don't respond on the phone or on the, and I get why you don't. And so I figured I'll just pick another today because it's hump day. I'll pick another. Hey, Dr. Ken's Sincere Ronnie Ray Real. Can't y'all just have some regular names? Hey, Kawanda. Can't y'all just have some regular names? That's right, Kawanda's an RN. That's right, you said that. Florida. Okay. All right, well, congratulations and happy Nurses Week. What's going on. So I want to talk about something that I know is going to cause a bit of a problem and people may disagree. But if you do agree, still call me, 833-212-1017. And let me know, is it something that I missed? Because I came across an article and a couple things today have me a little on edge. A couple things today have me thinking, wait, what is that? And so rather than just talk about it, I thought I would go to the actual article that's very clear and covers what it is that irks me. So Axios.com, a Pew study finds that most say George Floyd's killing didn't spur social justice changes. And so I have my own understanding and looking at and dealing with what we call social justice. But I'm sorry, this says didn't spur racial justice changes. I think I might have said social justice. So in the article on Axios.com, a vast majority of Americans say the increased focus on race and racial inequality after George Floyd's killing did not lead to changes that improve the lives of Black Americans, a new Pew Research Center survey finds. Why does it matter? Floyd's 2020 murder by Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin kneeling on his neck sparked international protests and calls to tackle systemic racism. But 5 years later, that momentum appears all but gone. Y'all know what I feel about systemic racism. I think it's the person in the system, if you can change the person. But anyway, I digress. The big picture, the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, notice we're not talking about the organization because the organization has been known to do some pretty bizarre things. The Black Lives Matter movement convinced companies to commit, and no, I would not put that. So this is a poorly written article. I got to call it out. The Black Lives Matter organization might have convinced companies to commit to diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives, but the movement was the movement. Donald Trump's anti-DEI executive orders have now forced many corporations to abandon those promises. So by the numbers, 5 years later, 72% of Americans say the increased focus on racial inequality did not lead to significant changes that then helped Blacks. Now, 52% of Americans express support for the Black Lives Matter movement, a 15 percentage point drop from 2020. In addition, 49% doubt that Black Americans will ever have equal rights with white Americans, up from 39% in 2020. And more than half of U.S. adults, 54%, say a relationship between Black people and police is about the same as before Floyd was killed. A third say things are now worse, while just 11% say they're better. So how do we look at this up close? Well, support for Black Lives Matter movement remains high among Black adults, Latinos, Democrats, and young adults, while fading among white Americans. Black adults, 76% support, Hispanic, 61%, Asian, 61%, still express greater support for Black Lives Matter than white adults, which is at 45%. Among Democrats, Black Lives Matter garners 84% versus 22% among Republicans, but Black Lives Matter movement is a shell of itself from 5 years ago. Leaders have moved on to jobs, and I have a problem with how they write this. The movement has nothing to do with the organization and the owners who have been known to have taken money and misappropriated it and done all sorts of things, allegedly. They've moved on to other jobs, other causes, and few figures have replaced them. Many Black Americans who crowded the streets in 2020 have also stepped back from the renewed anti-Trump protests, torn between urgency of the moment and the spiritual toll of relentless resistance. Black Lives Matter Plaza, you remember that, in Washington, D.C., near the White House, was dismantled in March after funding threats from Republicans, a symbolic setback in what once was the epicenter of 2020's racial reckoning. There is also almost no protest over that. So what does that mean? That's all that means. Sonny Slaughter, law enforcement expert and court TV legal analyst, I hope Sonny was a cop or something, says she understands why so many Americans feel like the racial reckoning didn't lead to lasting change. People are exhausted. That's an excuse. Momentum of 2020 doesn't look the same, and I get that. That's an excuse. That's just me talking. We've gone from reform to reframing, and now it's recalibration. I agree. So, half of U.S. adults say they feel exhausted extremely often and are very often when they think about the state of race and race issues in the U.S. Does that mean we have soft adults? I think so. We got people that are too soft, that aren't willing to go the extra mile and go beyond what's okay for them. 82% of Black Americans say the nation has not gone far enough when it comes to Black people having equal rights with whites. Over half or fewer among whites, Hispanic, and Asian Americans say this, the poll found. And so they talked to 5,079 U.S. adults between February 10th and February 17th, 2025. While I kind of agree and I kind of disagree at the same time, the bottom line is it was never going to change. And I said it beforehand, and I said it now. I remember saying it, so watch this. So I was at graduation at Concordia University on Saturday, and I'm walking with the colleague, you know, the ones Ben always complains about, the younger ones. You can't speak for all the younger people, blah, right? That's why we got into a fight yesterday. I wish he'd come in and say that today. He already went home. That's why I'm saying that. So we were talking, and my colleague decided to complain, well, you know, blah, 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 and all the other DEI stuff, right? And I said, well, I told you when you started this, and I told you in that meeting, and you told me I didn't know what I was talking about, and that times have changed. And then you added, you're old, as like an insult to something, or I didn't understand something. And I told this person, at the time, I found it insulting, but then I felt sorry for you because you didn't understand that history repeats itself. And all the things you've heard in the past and all the things that you were told, you got lied to, and you're just not willing to accept the fact that you got lied to. You would rather not deal with the truth because you fall under this ridiculousness of, you know, that's your truth. Well, truth is truth. It stands by itself. Whether you agree with it or not is completely irrelevant when it's true. But yet that's where you went, and now we're here now, and everything that you said and everything that was done in the world and all of it got dismantled, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with the fact that people were never going to do what they said they were going to do. They used it as an excuse. Only a couple of companies, Marriott, a couple other companies, decided we're going to follow up and we're going to do it no matter what anybody says. We're a private company and you can't make us do anything. Nobody cares, Mr. President, which I respect completely. But as far as it disappearing? I told you that. I told you. Based on the history of America, and I'm talking the real history, not the 1619 made up, twisted into a bow to make it look like the reason why we started this country was because of slavery, when slavery had been around 13 centuries prior to that. But I guess maybe she just woke up in 1619. I don't know. And now we have this idea that it's supposed to move forward. And I told you it wouldn't. That doesn't mean I didn't support it moving forward. I'm just telling you it wouldn't. And so after all the people died and all the people got shot and all the people that were killed and all the people whose blood lies in the street, what do we have to show for it? Oh, yeah, I remember. Nothing.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with Juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your
It's
teeth.
it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice.
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at OmegaSecurityGuard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Makes it all right. You see, what have I got to lose? Nothing. I say, leave it coming. Baby, you're much too fast. Leave it coming. You need a love that's gonna last.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm not going to forget like I did yesterday. Let me go back and check the talk and text line. Respect my name now. Singer, Sincere Ronnie Ray Real. Like, what kind of name is that? Sincere Ronnie Ray Real. Like, what kind of name is that? Come on. Or Dudette. Might be a girl. I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, News1.com has an article, and I got a question about black people. I have a question for black people, because it's Milwaukee Black Talk. Not to disrespect anybody who's not black, who listens, because we appreciate you being a fan in Truth Nation. But every now and then, we call out people and say things about people and do things that make no sense. So from News1.com, A Michigan councilwoman receives major heat during a recent committee meeting after other members describe her actions as unprofessional and offensive. Well, what's that about? Now, this is from a while ago, and I came across the story. I mean, it's like years ago, like 3 years ago, right? I came across the story, but I want to segue to something I think is related. So the white councilwoman called the black woman ghetto under her breath. And now everybody got upset. They got mad in Detroit. Everybody, Michigan, everybody's going back and forth. It was in Flint. Everybody goes back and forth, and calling somebody ghetto is troubling. So does this hold the same when black people call each other derogatory names? Or are they derogatory when white people use it and not derogatory when black people use it? In other words, when black people use the N-word against each other, some people like it, some people don't. But when white people use the N-word against anybody, nobody likes it. Is it a double standard? Is it like what is that? 833-212-1017. What is that? How do we call each other names like, "Ooh, girl, look at them, they so ghetto"? But yet if a white person says ghetto, whoo, the wheels fall off. The fight breaks out. I'm just making an observation. I'm not necessarily saying how I feel. But at some point, we should either watch what we say or don't watch what we say. But I don't know if you get to, now granted, it's been the norm in the black community. What we say to each other and what other people say to us differs, like in everyone. I've heard women call each other stuff, and I'm like, wait, what? But yet men can't say it. Men can't do it. Is that a double standard? Is it a standard at all? 833-212-1017 is the number. Earl, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Hello, Earl.
To something that you were discussing at the beginning of the show, and it was about Black Lives Matter and the fact that the nation is not going to live up to what it professes it is. Well, part of things that trouble me is from the perspective of a 70-year-old black man who lived through the civil rights struggle and who saw the fights that took place that offered some possible opportunities that still weren't what we should have gotten, because we should have been equal citizens in a nation that professed to be that, and saying that all American citizens were the same and equal. But we know that was a lie then. We know that's a lie today. It's always going to be a lie. But what bothers me the most is young black people who are ignorant. And they're ignorant because they think they know. They don't want to hear anything that the elders have to say.
Yep.
When they don't know anything about history, they act as though history just started when they turned 17 or 18 or 19 years old or 20 years old, whatever it is, or 30 years old. And so they are ignorant of the realities of what has happened in this historically. They don't understand that history is predicated on what happened, yesterday. The future is predicated on what happens tomorrow, but they can't seem to comprehend that. So they've been able to get a college degree. They've been able to get involved in politics. They've been able to have access, and they fail to understand that access was paid for by those who came before them.
That is correct.
And my fear is that as my generation dies out, those under them, Generation Y, and those younger people, who's going to fight for them? We're living at a time when all of the benefits and the things that were fought for when I was a young boy and a young man, people who fought for those opportunities for me, are being washed away. And they have no concept whatsoever about the impact of what that's going to have on black people. Not them individually, but long term. Black Lives Matter, I said from the onset. Black Lives Matter means and should mean that all black people should value their lives and the lives of one another. So you can't say to me, Black Lives Matter, but then we go out and take one another's lives. But then when a white person does it, oh, well, we're up in arms. The blood of our children runs in the streets every day.
Yep.
And young blacks in their 30s and 40s who seem to think they know have no concept whatsoever because they're ignorant to the past and to what took place. And that's my worst fear for the future of our generations after my generation is gone.
Well, I am in total agreement with you, Earl. I think that at some point there's going to be a reckoning, and if we don't wake up this generation Y, Z, and A, we're going to be in a world of hurt in about 2 generations from now.
We're on our way there. We're on our way there right now.
Absolutely, but I think they're going to hit the wall when the generation that's being born now is waking up. So,
well, you know, I would say to Generation X, and I've said this in the millennials, when they point the finger at my generation and say, y'all dropped the ball.
No, we didn't.
You didn't do anything for us.
No, we didn't.
And I would say to them, it's not our generation whose children are running around with their pants hanging off their backsides.
Yep.
It's not our generation whose children are slaughtering one another.
Yep. Very true.
It's not our generation who doesn't understand, who thinks that because they've got their own language and their own way of dress, that somehow makes them somebody special. They don't know. And so, you know, the definition of being ignorant is somebody who doesn't know. So if you don't know and you don't want to read and learn, then sit down at the foot of somebody who's been where you are trying to go. Like all the rest of the people on the earth who sit down at the foot of the elders and listen. If they're not willing to do that, the future for blacks in this nation is very bleak.
Well, it is definitely bleak, Earl. I want to thank you for giving us a call. It's just one of those things. I mean, we're not going to be able to reach everybody, but we got to reach most of them. It seems like we've lost a significant number of young Gen Z and younger millennial kids, and so if they're not listening to us and they don't know what to do, I guess we're all lost. And now with 1017 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazica.
We've got accidents and incidents everywhere. Right now, we've got eastbound 94 at about Hawley Road, crash off on the right shoulder. We've also got a crash eastbound 894 right about at Forest Home. The right lane is blocked. It's actually a broken down truck. The westbound side, that is a crash blocking the left lane right about at 84th Street. So heads up with that. We've also got an incident on northbound Howell right at the end of the airport spur. The right lane is closed because of this, so watch out for that, and pretty much delays everywhere else. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, breezy, a low of 42. Tomorrow sunny with a high of 51 at the lake, 61 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Ready to join the fun? With Girl Scouts Extended Year Membership from Girl Scouts,
you can sign up by June 30th and get up to 18 months of adventure through September 30th, 2026.
Girls starting kindergarten or first grade in 2025 will also receive 3 Get Ready with Girl Scouts activity books,
featuring games, crafts, and stories the whole family will love, for free. Plus, you'll even get a special gift from the Girl Scouts. Join today and get ready to grow, explore, and shine with Girl Scouts.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am grateful for those who changed yesterday.
But I live in today.
And I pledge I will help shape tomorrow.
Milwaukee College Prep Scholars honor Black History Month, not just during February, but each and every day they walk through the door, preparing for a better life for themselves and the world around them. Enroll your scholar for the 2025-26 school year at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth, powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. For the third straight game, the Milwaukee Brewers find themselves on the winning side, this time beating the Houston Astros by a final score of 4-3.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, hammered out to center. Myers back at the track. Wall, bye-bye baseball! Jake Bowers goes deep to center. His third home run of the season. It is 4-0 Milwaukee.
With the win, the Brewers improving to 19-18 on their season. Over to the NBA, where the Pacers take a 2-0 lead over the Cavaliers with a 120-119 win. And the Warriors taking a 1-0 early lead in the series against Minnesota with a 99-88 win as well. And lastly, over to the NFL, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Cowboys and Steelers in an agreement to send George Pickens to Dallas. In exchange, the Steelers receive a 2026 third-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So what happened? Like yesterday, it was 75, 80 degrees. Now it's 50. Like who broke the earth? Like somebody broke the earth. I don't know what's going on. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, gusty winds during the evening, low of 42. Winds from the north to northeast at 20 to 30 miles an hour, which is going to make it like what? 32. 32. So that's pretty fast. You need to he said, okay, fade. It's a generational thing. It's not like wrong. It's just a generational thing. Okay, yes, yeah. No. Like it's just, and so, right? And those are the differences that we talk about with Black Lives Matter and all those things that are going on in the world. We got to start working on this is the difference, and this is how you recalibrate what's going on. But I digress. 833-212-1017 is the number. Black Conscience, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Not yourself, Dr. Ken. And Earl, y'all should have gave Earl a couple of days. He was speaking on the truth radio. He was kicking that knowledge. But yeah, to your question, what Earl didn't, he was talking about the other day. It is a double standard that is sickening, and we're so blindly use it in all aspects. The women calling each other that. And, you and I grew up in Chicago, and I ain't had many white folks, and I've been called the N-word in so many twisted ways that white folks could never make me feel like, that was something, because my own people use it in the most derogatory and hateful way, so I don't have a problem I have a problem with the word, not who's saying it.
Well, why do you have a problem with the word, though? I mean, why are you giving power? Hang on, let me ask the question.
No,
why are you giving power to a word that can't do anything to you?
It's not about that it can't do anything to me when it's spoken to me in a most hateful and derogatory way.
So
I have issues with that, and I hold myself to a higher standard than that.
So other people's other people's freedom of speech.
Hold on, Doc. If that's your limitation on your vocabulary, then that's where it ends with me.
But that's your opinion.
Because we can.
But somebody else has the right to tell you and say whatever they want in public, and there's nothing you can really do.
I can remove myself from the situation and let them stand there in their own ignorance.
But then explain to me what about it bothers you to make you want to adjust your life, leave somewhere where you went, do what you need to do in order. You wanted me to let you finish, so let me finish.
Yeah.
You adjust what you're doing, what you're saying, where you are, who you're with, because of something somebody else says or does. Why?
No, it wasn't because.
Answer my question. Why?
I didn't do none of that for what they said or did. I did that to better myself. Now that has nothing to do with the conversation or the word.
That is a cop-out answer.
Cop-out answer. That's the answer. That's the answer I'm giving you for the question.
The only reason you did what you did was because they used the word, right? What is it about the word that makes you do what you did?
The word was in the moment, and it wasn't just about the word. It was about the person and what they was trying to share with me. That was it didn't.
Why are you giving a word? Like why are you feeling? And I'm playing devil's advocate. Why are you feeling a way
I know what you're doing.
About a
I know
word
exactly what you're doing.
That literally can't hurt you, can't kill you. It shouldn't make you feel anyway. That's my opinion, but other people do.
Well,
I can respect that.
Well, there are times when people use words that can affect you, and that happens to be one of them, and a lot of other derogatory words that
if you let them.
That I can only address what's currently happening at that moment.
If you let them.
Well, we're creatures we're humans, so we have feelings.
Don't speak for everybody else.
I am speaking.
No, you said we
I am a human. I am a human. I have feelings, and I know what I stand for, and I know what I tolerate, and that's not one of them.
Okay. Now that I can respect, but we speak in these generalities like all black people should do this, or all black people have to believe this, or all black people have to talk like this. And I think
that's not the message I'm sending out.
Well, but that was the message you were giving when you said we.
I understand that, and I corrected myself.
I appreciate that, brother.
Live righteous, Milwaukee.
Love you, man. 833-212-1017 is the number. Larry, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
How you doing, Dr. Ken?
Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Yes, good evening. First thing I want to say, I don't have a problem with a white person using the N-word because I say 90% of them did slept with one. So what does that make them? Because they only can be by example. So I can't get mad because that's what they was taught, what they was taught to see when they was probably with one.
How
so
do you go about, Al, putting in other people's or speaking for other people's thoughts when you don't know what they were thinking at the time?
Well, if that person is white, 90% of the time somebody done slept with one.
How do you know
so
that?
Tell
me how you know
like
that.
Lesson.
No, it's not.
That's my.
You're making
no,
up.
that's,
You're
that's
making
me
up stuff
for me.
You're making up stuff out of the air. You don't know whether or not 90% of the people,
because that's
white
what they
people, have slept
fantasize
with black
about.
people. You have no idea, Al. You keep coming up with all these words and these nice grandiose thoughts, but you have nothing to back it up. No, it's not.
No, yes, it is wonderful because if they're going to call you that, 9 out of 90% of them is married to one. And they're paying to be with one.
Like where you come up with 90%.
It makes a lot of sense. Go up north.
No, we ain't up north. We're in Milwaukee. Like, what are you even talking about?
I know, and even in Milwaukee, we see it all the time.
Oh, my God.
So if you...
90% of white people in Milwaukee. Listen to what you just said. 90% of white people...
If they call you one, 9 out of 10, they want to sleep one. They want to sleep with one.
Where'd you get that from? You just make it up and just pull it out the air? I ain't gonna look at nothing. I'm asking you.
Listen how they talk.
Oh my God!
They know where it started.
Okay.
They know where the Supreme.
All right, Al. So in other words, you're just making it up.
We got everything that they mammy and pappy didn't give them.
So you're just making
this history.
How much do
have a good day?
Bye.
Bye.
Yep. I couldn't take it anymore. Yes, I hung up on him. At some point, dude, like what in God's name are you even talking about? What are you talking about? You make up these comments about people with zero other than that's what you feel. I get it. I can respect that. But what are you even saying? I don't get it. Make no sense at all. None. All the barbs and the cute sayings and the rhyme and all that is fine, but it's garbage. And you don't know what you're talking about. And you go on, but I'm trying to understand what it is you're saying. Oh, people that say that, they believe this. Okay, where you get that from? Like, what makes you think 90% of, like, what? It just makes no sense. None whatsoever. And we got to stop putting erroneous, anyway. Bizarre.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and see this wonderful smile live every day.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
2 Wisconsin icons are teaming up on a reworked classic. Cousin Subs and U-Zingers are proud to introduce the all-new fried bologna sub, featuring U-Zingers fried bologna, bacon, American cheese, onions, pickles, mayo, and mustard on fresh-baked Italian bread. And that's not all. Pair your fried bologna with a creamy cupcake shake topped with whipped cream and rainbow sprinkles. Now that's a better combination. Order both in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
If this world were mine, I would place at your feet all that.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017. You know, there have been times in everyone's life when life tosses a curveball, you have to adjust and realign and rededicate your resources to making things better. Sometimes you may know what to do. Many times it's the first time you've ever faced an issue, especially when it comes to money and finances. You know, for the last couple of decades, I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. You know, I had a financial issue that involved another family member, and I was able to go in and get advice and a plan. And I'm here today to tell you it actually worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line or shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial resources. Experience more heart and less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility is required. 833-212-1017 is the number. I mean, Marquise said, Dr. Ken, pop it off. No, I'm not. I've just reached the end of, and I'll start asking questions like, what exactly is it that you're saying? Because talking in these circles and soliloquies and all that, it just doesn't make any sense. It just, like, what are you even talking about? You know, 90% of the people, you know, what? Where'd that number come from? Like, where are you getting that from? Now, if that's what you believe, I can respect that. But when we just pull stuff out the air, you know, every black person that does such and such, that's some of the stuff white people say about us. Or those ideas we have about black people, those stereotypes that some are true, some are not. But some of it becomes true to people because we just repeat it over and over and over and over. There are some major, let me give you an example. There's some major issues with the 1619 Project that black people have been trying to tell people that people just pretend like they don't want to hear it. Why America became America was because of slavery? Absolutely 100% incorrect. The level of slavery in America during colonial times, you might be mixing that up with antebellum time. But definitely not colonial time. And slavery had been around in other places. You know, when the Muslims took black people from northern Africa, slaves, 13 centuries prior. Not 13. So Slavery's been going on for a minute. Not to denigrate American slavery, because it was our own personal Holocaust. But some of the reasons why it occurred had nothing to do with money. It was just I'm gonna have to take a day or two and go through what the 1619 Project actually talks about and why it resonates with people, even though black historians, well-known black historians, have tried to refute it and were castigated for actually telling the truth. Why do we have a problem with believing things that are true, that are actually documented and followed and proven when people look like us? Or we reject knowledge, help, when it's somebody that doesn't look like us. I don't understand that. Like if you call 911 and a white cop showed up, would you tell the white cop, nope, I don't want your help, send a black cop? I don't know. Now, I've had white people do that to me. I've actually had white people say, I want a real cop. Old German lady. On the south side, lived off of Forest Home Avenue. And was just adamant, you're not the real police. I want the real police. So I had to call one of my surgeons to have him come there. And he gets out the car and says, what's the problem? She said, I want the real police. They're not the real police. And he looked at me, and of course it was a white guy. He turns beet red and starts laughing. And now the woman gets even more mad. Are you laughing at me, young man? Because he was a younger German guy. And he was trying to explain to her, no, ma'am. They don't come down here. It was in the South Side. Those black people, like, I don't know, what are we, like books on a shelf or something? Those black people, those books, they don't come down here. My partner was black too. So it was kind of like, okay, I'll not help you with that. I thought she was going to have a coronary. My partner was black, but she was German. I don't remember. It had to have been late 90s, mid to late, like 94, 95. They're like that today, too. Don't get it twisted. It's like that today, too. And watch this. I can't be mad at that lady. I cannot be mad at that lady because that is how she grew up and that is what she believed. And that's one thing. But for me to be mad at her means that I had to accept and now be offended at somebody else not knowing something. Like, I can't get mad at your ignorance. You know, I'm not calling her stupid. She literally didn't know that they had let black people, after Harold Breyer, work on the South Side. She didn't know. So we can't get mad. We can't get mad at our youth. Earl was on to something. We can't, our youth are killing each other and ain't nobody saying nothing. My top 5 at 5, I got at least 3 shootings or 3 homicides in it. And then people call and say, well, why are you saying stuff it's so negative? Well, why don't you help fix it? And then somebody go, what are you doing in the community? I did it for 30 years. Why don't you pick up the mantle and get going? But that's not what's happening. Do you understand the fear of aging and dying and realizing that the world is actually going to be worse off instead of better? This is the first generation ever that the next generation born after it is going to actually be worse than it was before. They're going to make less money, have less access to jobs and education, and it ain't got nothing to do with the Trump administration. Ain't got nothing to do with the Biden administration. Has everything to do with your family. Where did we stop telling people, wait to get married before you had kids, go to high school or college and get a good paying job, or just go to high school and get a good paying job. Like, when did that happen? When did we start coming up with reasons? Well, manufacturing left. Well, did you leave with it? Well, manufacturing went down south. Well, did you go down south? Because when it came up north, guess what they did? They got in the car and came up north. The Great Migration, 1910 plus. They came here. So nobody wants to move. Well, that's going to be hard. Nothing's a career anymore. It's a job. And when they get tired of the job, they just quit. And you can't build anything. And you can't grow. And then you want to complain, and it's somebody else's fault. That's just bizarre to me. That old idiotic saying, but as you get older, you get it. You made your bed, lie in it. And when you need help, ask. But don't act like you know everything, and then when it don't work out, want to blame somebody. Oh, it's somebody else's fault. We are not getting reparations. We're not getting free college. And we got to figure out a way to work around school loans so that we can send kids to college without them being in debt for the rest of their lives. And the only way to do that is for us to pay for it, to come up with a mechanism to pay for it. I'm doing my top 5 at 5 after the news. And the sheer number of shootings. We had one warm day yesterday. One. 2, 3, 4 people dead. Why? Nobody complains about that. Let one white cop shoot somebody. And I even have a story about the guy whose son got killed by police with a gun. And we'll talk about what he did. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 up next.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Black Business Give Back Spotlight this Friday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Erica Odom, owner of Odom Investments in Property Management. We will discuss how they are making a difference in the real estate world through property management and by offering competitive prices to buy your home. Again, that is the Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Odom Investments in Property Management this Friday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom,
I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Last weekend, during a Senate committee public hearing, Republican lawmakers proposed a bill to instate, quote, blackout license plates. The style is similar to plates seen in Iowa or the Road America license plates. According to state representative and author of the bill, Paul Meltek, the financial benefit from selling these plates could help alleviate escalating costs for road projects and bridge construction jobs throughout the state. Governor Tony Evers currently backs the bill and indicated he will sign it if it reaches his desk. If it does pass, new plates could be available at the beginning of 2026. Milwaukee Public Schools says only 300 people will get lead screening today at North Division High School. Milwaukee Health Department Executive Director of Environmental Health, Tyler Weber, says that as the lead crisis continues, the city will continue to help, but says that the staff resources are spreading thin.
It's deeply challenging. It's been a big strain on our resources for our lab, for our staff, and very concerned for the students in MPS, and that's why we're working with them to scale this as best we can.
The clinic runs today from 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The West Allis Common Council votes to revoke the license for bar owner Neil Stefik, who owns the Drunk Uncle Bar. Stefik has received multiple complaints, including allegations of misconduct. This past weekend, the Drunk Uncle hosted a final event where all drinks were free. Then it ended with an assault, multiple injuries, and the City of West Allis Police Department shutting the bar down early. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. That face was priceless. He was like, huh? Your face almost made a noise like, huh? No, we just chopped it up, going back and forth. I'm harassing. I don't know why he want to be called X. Should be called Z. You're not Z, so what you talking about? You're DJ Brother Z, not just Z. Today, Dr. Ken Harris got beat up by X and Z. and can you imagine me trying to talk to the doctor all beat up, bloody? Who beat you up? X and Z. Like, what is he talking about? Is he on drugs? X and Z. Like, who? I know. They're going to be like, what? Is that like a drug? I'm like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it just, that's my plan, though. When they, I'm telling you, I'm going to get one of them to hit me. I'm going to fall out. Whoo! I will be all over the flick and be like, oh, my God, you killed him. Oh, my God, you killed him. And I'm like, nah, you didn't kill him. You didn't kill me. You didn't kill me. But before I get to my top 5 at 5, you know, there are times in everyone's life when, you know, it tosses you a curveball and you have to readjust and realign and rededicate your resources to making things better. Well, sometimes you may know what to do, but many times it's the first time you've ever faced an issue, especially when it's financial. For the last couple of decades, I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. You know, I had a financial issue that involved another family member, and I was able to go in and get advice and get a plan, and I'm here today to tell you it worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line of shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial resources. Experience more heart and less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com, insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility is required. 833-212-1017 is the number. Remember I was talking about before we went to the news and the break and all that? Remember I was talking about that? Milwaukee? 70 degrees, 80 degrees yesterday?
Number 5.
So, a teen from CBS 58 accidentally shoots and kills his mother while trying to stop stepdad from hitting her. So, here's the deal. 17-year-old boy accidentally shot and killed his mother last month while trying to get his stepdad to stop hitting her, according to a recently filed court document. The stepdad has since been charged with the woman's death. So here's how that works. The shooting happened on April 18th at an apartment near the intersection of 15th and Cherry. Initially, police said only 2 people, aged 26 and 34, suffered non-fatal injuries. However, a complaint filed last Friday in Milwaukee County Circuit Court revealed the 34-year-old victim died of her injuries on April 22nd. Officials have yet to release her name, and the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office did not respond yesterday to messages seeking to confirm the identity. The other person shot, 26-year-old Zaire Dalton, was hospitalized with multiple gunshot wounds. Zaire Dalton was charged Friday with felony murder in connection to the woman's death. So why felony murder? Felony murder. If you're committing one felony and another felony occurs and someone dies, you can be charged with felony murder. So the child told investigators Dalton was hitting his mother, and there was a lot of yelling, bad words, and things dropping. At that point, the 17-year-old's older brother, identified as JG in the complaint, got into an argument with Dalton and followed him downstairs with a gun. Investigators said they retrieved a recording of the 911 call, and the mother could be heard telling dispatchers he had been hitting her and was now hitting her son. The 911 call then captured approximately 10 gunshots before disconnecting. A woman in the apartment next door, who only wished to be identified by her initials, told a reporter that Dalton went to her unit for help after he'd been shot. She then realized her neighbor, the mother, had been shot in the head and was lying in her apartment. I know it wasn't intentional, you know what I mean? I know the bullet wasn't for her. So the neighbor said that she's hadn't heard a lot of commotion because she was on the other side of her apartment, but she did hear about 10 gunshots before Dalton came for help. And so that's unfortunate. Carmen Pitry, president of Sojourner Family Peace Center, said it was a tragic incident, but she added it's unfortunately fairly common for kids to either get hurt or hurt someone else trying to interrupt domestic violence. Petrie, or is it Peter? P-I-T-R-E. Peter? said the incident underscores the importance of speaking up once domestic violence starts happening in a home. When things like that happen, go to the police. Yes, people complain, the police didn't help me, they didn't do this. Go to the police. You have to report it to someone. If you can't report it to someone, you can always go to Sojourner Family Peace Center. You can at least always call there. Always. And get help. I knew of a person who needed some help and didn't know where to go and didn't know how to figure all that out. And I sent them to Sojourner, and they were able to walk this person through. And let me be honest, men or women, men have been victim of domestic violence and just don't report it in many occasions because people tend to say, like I've had somebody say to me, actually said to me at the district attorney's office when I'm on a case where the suspect is a woman, the female DA, assistant district attorney said, well, what did he do to her? And when I didn't laugh along with her, she completely changed her demeanor. And I'm like, you're not going to, what? And it's unfortunate, but we have that thing in society that it's a bit one-sided. And you can't say it because then people will freak out and turn over tables and scream and holler, and it's unfortunate.
Number 4.
This also from CBS 58. A 35-year-old is dead after being shot near 76 in Hampton on last night. Milwaukee police say the shooting occurred at 9:45 p.m. The victim taken to a local hospital and was later pronounced dead. The victim's identity has not been released and no suspects have been identified. Anyone with information is asked to contact Milwaukee police at 414-935-7360.
Number 3.
From WISN.com, a 30-year-old is dead after shooting on Milwaukee's South Side. It happened yesterday around 5 p.m., 15th and Burnham Street in the historic Mitchell Street neighborhood. Police said they found one victim dead at the scene. No one is in custody. Anyone with information should call the Milwaukee police.
Number 2.
From CNN.com, I hope you're sitting down. From Memphis, Tennessee, 3 former Memphis officers were acquitted today of all state charges, including second-degree murder in the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols after he ran away from a traffic stop, a death that sparked nationwide protests and prompted renewed calls for police reforms in the U.S. An out-of-town jury from a majority-white county took about 8.5 hours over 2 days to find Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith not guilty on all charges after a 9-day trial in state court in Memphis, which is majority black. After the jury's verdict was read, the defendants hugged their lawyers and relatives of the former officers, and some of them cried. Outside the courtroom, one relative yelled, "Thank you, Jesus." Martin Zumak, Smith's attorney, told Associated Press by text, "It's easy to defend a good person. It's nerve-wracking to represent an innocent man." The 3 defendants still face prospects of years in prison because they were convicted on federal charges last year, though they were acquitted of the most serious charges then, too. 2 other former officers previously pleaded guilty in both state and federal court, including Emmett Martin, who defense attorneys blamed for the majority of the violence. Bean and Smith are out on bond and under house arrest after their federal convictions. Haley is still being held in federal prison. So you remember this? Nichols, a 29-year-old black man, fled from a traffic stop after he was yanked out of his car, pepper sprayed, and hit with a taser. 5 officers who are also black caught up with him and punched, kicked, and hit him with a police baton, struggling to handcuff Nichols as he called out for his mother just steps from his home. Nichols died January 10th of 2023, 3 days after the beating, and footage of the beating captured by a police poll camera also showed the officers milling about, talking and laughing as Nichols struggled with his injuries, video that prompted intense scrutiny of the Memphis Police Department.
Number 1.
Well, I got to tell you, we talked about it before. We kicked it around, but the bottom line is we've got to make some changes. We have to make some changes because there's some things that are going on, and we have to be careful. From theroot.com, Rodney Hinton appeared in court this week for a hearing on charges he faces in connection to the killing of a Cincinnati sheriff's deputy. Walking past the wall of over 50 scowling deputies who posted up in support of their fallen colleague, Hinton stuck his chin up, eyeing every single officer. Now, the internet is kind of blowing up in support of who some are calling a hero after prosecutors, get this, claimed he avenged his son who was killed by officers from that very department. From their point of view, the internet is saying he did what any father would do. One TikTok user wrote, that man had no prior record, was a peaceful, law-abiding citizen, but they took his child. Another one said, I'm a white guy with retired cops in my family, and the only thing Rodney did wrong was that he only got one of them. One TikToker said, you take my son, and I'll do worse. Rodney Hinton Jr. isn't a combat veteran rated at the highest level for disability. They don't target people like me because I'm better trained than most cops could ever be. Muscle memory doesn't go away. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. One woman said he had everything taken from him. They murdered the king he gave birth to. They murdered the future of his family, and he'll never get justice, so he took some, as was his right. Well, not only are folks praising him for getting an eye for an eye, but his supporters sent a chilling warning that this alleged action may birth a movement of people seeking revenge instead of justice. So here's the issue I have. Well, let me go on. Authorities say Hinton drove through an intersection Friday afternoon, striking Hamilton County Special Deputy Larry Henderson. The deputy died at the hospital the day before the incident. Deputies from the same department had shot Hinton's 18-year-old son after he tried to flee from a traffic stop. So we don't know what the particulars are of that particular thing. Somebody needs to release that. Somebody needs to find out what exactly happened in the traffic stop. Did his son have a gun? Did his son try to take the officer? Like, what happened? Did his son do nothing and just ran and they shot and killed him? Whichever way, does that give you carte blanche to kill a cop? Does it? 833-212-1017 is the number. Does that give you carte blanche? Do you agree with Rodney Hinton Jr. did? Killing an officer for killing his son? What information does he have? What information does he know? What did the son do? Does it matter what the son did? Does it matter what the son didn't do? Do you trust the system? Do you not trust the system? Either way, I think the only person that comes out worse is the family of Rodney Hinton.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Hey there, there. Did you hear? There are still spots open for Girl Scout Summer Camp 2025.
Whether you're into water activities, arts and crafts, sports and games, exploring nature, or even horseback riding, there's a camp just for you.
Choose from GSY's day camps, overnight camps, community day camps, or Camp Hero.
Bring a friend and get ready for a summer full of adventure, friendship, and leadership.
Register today and let's make this the best summer ever, Girl Scout style.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. For Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know, there's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. You can set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point because they'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Again, 0% financing up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st of 2025. So visit PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, Larry said, Doc, you gave Al my call. Al called before you. Like, you do it in order, like not just call. Anyway, Sincere say, Ronnie, so words don't have power. They don't have meaning. Well, yeah, they do, but they only have meaning if you let them have meaning. If somebody calls you out of your name, are you going to lose your mind and go to prison, but you'll feel good? Well, you'll feel good, but you'll be in prison for punching somebody in the head or beating somebody for what? Black Conscience said it. Just turn and walk away. Just turn out, like literally turn and walk away. No, I can't let somebody do that. I said, well, then you just gave control of your life to somebody else. And that is how we lose. That is why folks in younger generations lose. Somebody said something and you altered your life forever. And you will sit in prison for the rest of your life. I hear some of the beefs that are between people when shootings or homicides occur. And I used to wonder, like, am I missing something? Or am I just tougher than that? Or it just doesn't sting that long? 833-212-1017. Am I? Is it that I'm just like, I've been through it so many times that the words don't really make me feel a certain way. Not that I'm going to let you get away with it, because I know how to complain and do things and put things in writing and, cause you significant issues. But are words that important? Those words that you alter your life and die, or in a fit of rage, you kill someone. It just makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. I just don't understand. Some of the things we believe in our community just makes no sense. And then it perpetuates, and we believe it. I always use Jesse Jackson as an example back in the 80s. He always said, there are more black men in prison than there is in college. And it was wrong. Like, it was blatantly wrong at the time. The question I have today is, why aren't we saying anything about all the crime that's being committed in the black community? Like, we have to be positive about everything to the point where we skip over the fact that people are dying. We skip over the fact that a young man was so scared that a guy was beating his mother so bad that he went and got a gun. And when he tried to shoot the guy, ended up shooting his mother in the head, and she died. But the guy got charged with felony murder. Why? Because if he hadn't been beating the woman, the kid wouldn't have gotten the gun and accidentally shot her. So because you started that ball rolling, now the ball gets to roll over you. But how did we get there? How did we get, during Black Lives Matter, websites that say marriage is a European construct and that you don't need to get married? When did fathers stop taking care of their kids? When pre-Civil Rights Act, 80% of black men had jobs. There were more black people married before civil rights than after. I don't understand that. How? And raise their kids, and if you want to get divorced, get divorced. But at least you wait till your kids got grown. Somewhere in there, we lost this thing of telling people, you are wrong, stop. I still remember when people disappeared from school and reappeared in school, and I'm like, where was you at? Oh, went down south and had a baby. Your cousin or nephew is your kid. But that's the game we played back in the day, right? You got to go down to Arkansas, got to go down Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere. Ta-da! And now your kid gets raised down south with grandma, and you come back and go to school, and then you take your kid and go to college. Is this like now? Yeah, we don't care. Guys don't take care of their kids. We don't care. We don't call guys out. We don't call girls out. We just, well, it's not my kids. And am I really responsible for other people's kids? No. Their parents are, but we don't teach parents how to be parents. And then we wonder why everything falls apart. Oh my God, you can't say that. People have their own truth. They can do what they want to do. Well, how's that working in the black community? I actually had somebody say that if you move to a suburb, you sold out. You've given up. It's not my responsibility to raise up the community. It's my responsibility to raise up my family. Maybe a level, cousins, maybe some of my nephews, nieces. Other than that, no. You take care of that. I will show you everything. But for some reason, we won't call out what needs to be called out. We had one warm day and had, 4 homicides? 4 people died that we know of. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. 2 of them, we have no idea who killed them. We just found them, they're dead. And we gotta, if you have any information, call the police. Like, really? What happened between the 1970s and the 1964 and 65 Civil Rights Act and all that stuff and today? What happened when the nuclear family fell apart? What happened when we started trying to seek what white society said was important, and we forgot it had nothing to do with race and everything to do with class? Because if you think about it, America will give you anything. They sent you to school for free, gave you a house for free, gave you health care for free, but they'll never give you money. Ever. And while we're screaming and hollering about issues with race, we need to be looking at class, because we live in a caste system. And it's not about the haves and the have-nots. It's down to the do's and the don'ts. And now with 101.7
we got plenty of delays all over the place. We've got a crash on westbound 894 in the Hale interchange, basically out of traffic. So just keep your eyes open for this. It's going to be a little bit on the tight side through there. Definitely on the eastbound side, too, starting to slow down from before Oklahoma Avenue down and around the Hale all the way to Loomis. We've got eastbound 94 backing up from the Highway F area all the way through Barker Road, back on the brakes from the Zoo all the way to 35th Street. We do have northbound 43 with an accident right through the Marquette interchange. This one is off on the right shoulder, so should be able to get past it without too much of an issue. We do have delays, though, northbound from the Marquette all the way up towards Keith. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Partly cloudy skies, breezy, a low of 42. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 51 at the lake, 61 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance, like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
As a fellow veteran, we understand what it means to serve on a team. A suicide on a team is devastating and a real risk for veterans. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out now. Reach out WIS.org for local resources available to you and your loved ones.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Carrie Noni with her truth.
You know, sometimes the mundane isn't a burden, it's the beauty of living. I came to this conclusion after recently watching the movie Subservience on Netflix. It's a crazy film, y'all. I would suggest you check it out. But it's a story that explores our relationship with technology and how it's programmed to take our burdens away. This movie really got me thinking about how much we're wired to avoid struggle. We create tools and shortcuts to make life easier, whether it's robots, apps, or even outsourcing everyday tasks. But in the process, we risk forgetting the value of the little things we go through every day. Sure, folding laundry or grocery shopping might feel like chores. I literally dread cleaning up. But isn't there something grounding about them? Something that reminds us we're human. Life isn't just about the highlights or the easy parts. It's about the messy, repetitive, and sometimes inconvenient stuff too. Think about it. Who would you be if you didn't have to face the small frustrations that test your patience, or the routines that push you to show up for yourself or the people around you? The mundane moments, the ones we rush to escape, are often the ones that shape us. If life was nothing but convenience, where's the growth? Where's the grit that teaches us resilience? And most importantly, where's the appreciation for the moments that do take our breath away? So maybe the next time you find yourself annoyed by the daily grind and are on the brink of crashing out, you pause, you breathe, and remind yourself that the beauty of life isn't just in the big moments, but in every little thing that makes them possible.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth, powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. For the third straight game, the Milwaukee Brewers find themselves on the winning side, this time beating the Houston Astros by a final score of 4-3.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Hammered out to center. Myers back at the track. Wall. Bye-bye baseball. Jake Bowers goes deep to center. His third home run of the season. It is 4-0 Milwaukee.
With the win, the Brewers improving to 19-18 on their season. Over to the NBA, where the Pacers take a 2-0 lead over the Cavaliers with a 120-119 win. And the Warriors taking a 1-0 early lead in the series against Minnesota with a 99-88 win as well. And lastly, over to the NFL, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Cowboys and Steelers in an agreement to send George Pickens to Dallas. In exchange, the Steelers receive a 2026 third-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. On Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. That's right here. Unwrapped is an evening event of community, creativity, and more importantly, food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizers, entrees, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. Fundraiser will help support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org. That's SHARP literacy.org. 833-212-1017. Larry said, you gave Al my call. No, I didn't. I did not. Kwanda said, typical Milwaukee weather is what happened. It's supposed to be frost tonight. It's supposed to be frost. Like, why? Why? Yesterday it was 80 degrees. Today, frost. I'm done. I don't understand. I just don't get it. 833-212-1017 is the number. Millicent said, let's do low self-esteem. Again, do black people have low self-esteem? That's why they go out and shoot each other? Like, why do we not have information so we come up with, like, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how that happens. Like, sometimes I'll sit and I'll hear people say things and I go, what? I want to ask, what are you even talking about? Like, do you actually think, because you've talked to other friends, and I'm not talking about Millicent, because you talk to other friends and all of y'all agree, black people don't go to, well, let me give a better example. I was teaching a class at the time at Concordia, and it was a management class. And this is not indicative of most students. It's indicative when you don't have a broad thought. And that's what college is for. College is to broaden your thinking, broaden how you do. And this person has gone on to be very successful and has done a great job. Got his degree from Concordia, went on and did a great thing. So I asked in a management class, why do you think black kids in the city of Milwaukee or any predominantly black area don't go to school. And he said, because they don't value education. I said, who told you that? He said, that's what I hear my parents say all the time. I said, so you hear your parents say that black people don't value education, and that's the reason why black people aren't in school, not dealing with the fact that many times white people kept us out of schools. But we forget about that. We forget about the 50s and the 60s, and in some cases, the 70s, where we blocked black people going to college. Changed the money, flipped where you could live. Federal government came in and said, yep, this can be all black, this can be all white. Became the arbiter of who won and who didn't when it came to real estate. So I reminded him, when you have to go to work and you're working 2 jobs because you didn't, for whatever reason, get the education or you don't have enough or whatever happens, and you get home at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and now you got to get the kid ready and get him to school, sometimes you're going to be late. In other words, ask why. Don't make an assumption and use yourself as the barometer. You're going to always lose. You're going to always get the wrong answer. You're going to get the wrong information. And that has nothing to do with race. It has to do with class. Middle class, upper middle class. Well, if you don't go to school, that's because, and you can, it's because you don't care. Man, they don't really care. Is that the case? Probably not. But they've decided in their mind that's what it is. So when we hear things like it's low self-esteem, it's not. Here's my argument, and I see Sandra's on the phone. Here's my argument. Do you think it takes a person with low self-esteem to get a gun and go after somebody and shoot them? Does that sound like a person that has low self-esteem? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just feel down today. I can't do anything right. I guess I'll go shoot this person. That sounds dumb all by itself. I don't feel good about myself, so I don't think you should feel good about yourself, X. I'm going to shoot you. Like, does that, like, what? And I mean, I'm being silly when I say it, but think about, we're blaming low self-esteem for a person committing a crime. There's a difference in a person committing a crime and they're poor and they need food and they're hungry. I've literally taken money out of my pocket and bought people Pampers and food to feed their kids because they were homeless, trying to steal stuff. It's too late, statute of limitations is over. In Walgreens, and paid for it for them. One woman got mad because me and the teller, the young lady working the cash register, wanted to pay for her food and her baby's milk, and she got mad because she didn't want handouts. I said, time out. You're going to steal something, but you don't want handouts. If you have that much self-esteem, if you have that much care, put the energy you're putting into stealing to finding a job. Instead of stealing from Walgreens, why don't you ask for a job? I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Dr. Ken.
Hey, girl, what's up?
What's up with you? I hear you talking about killing and stealing and, ooh, wow. I guess we some demonistic people.
Why you put that on us? Those are some demonistic
it sounds like
people.
You did.
They don't know.
You said, why are we?
No, I didn't.
You said, why are we killing? You said, who do you mean we?
The people that are killing, that are shooting people, and I was speaking in reference of somebody saying that it was low self-esteem. And I'm saying it's not self-esteem. It takes a significant amount of self-esteem to go out and get a gun and shoot somebody else. I don't think that's the issue.
Well, hey, look, I don't think nothing's going to really change because it's always thoughts and prayers. When people shoot, thoughts and prayers like the dead going to wake back up.
That's it?
I think what they need to do
is what?
These people go around shooting people, take them to the funeral home, let them be handcuffed, and let them watch the Undertaker. But you got to put something in their head because
it ain't gonna work.
It's easy to kill a body. It's easy to kill a body, and then you don't see.
Time out. How
the
you
price
know
it
it's
costs.
easy to kill a body?
Because you said they were killing people, so they killed the people.
But it's easy. That don't make it easy.
So, to them it was, not to me.
But we don't
to
know
them
that.
It was.
We don't know that.
Apparently so. They shot him and killed him.
We don't know that. All we know is the outcome.
I know
we
that.
Don't know.
I know that all through my heart.
No, you don't.
Because
well,
people
your
have
heart is wrong
attitudes.
because
They
you
have
weren't there.
tempers.
You generalize.
No, they have attitudes. They have tempers. Well, it's true.
It's not.
Maybe they need. My brother-in-law said they need attitudinal healing. Maybe they need to go somewhere and get their attitudes healed. But I think, like I said, they got.
How about this, Sandra? How about we actually check with the person and find out what their issue is, and then help them that way?
It'd be too late if they kill somebody. You got to get them before the action happens.
If you're alive and breathing, it's never too late. You don't
Take
think
them to the morgue.
Can anybody be redeemed? Is there?
Handcuff them, take them to the morgue, take them to the funeral home, put them out there in the wars, let them fight the wars. Well, then you won't cry.
So we're gonna.
You're not gonna solve anything.
So we're gonna traumatize the traumatized.
Well, then you're gonna land them up in jail, and that's what's gonna happen. Then they're gonna be traumatized and can't come out and get a job because they're stigmatized. So what? Take them down there. I just said my three things I said should be done. Let them watch these Undertakers. That's right. And let them see the family crying. They did handcuff them, though. Don't just let them be able to walk around.
Don't you think if they cared, they would not have killed the person in the first place?
But that's where the temper come in. Some of them are high-strung temper.
Again,
and then some
if
of them,
cared,
it could be, this is my wife. Nobody tells me how to handle my wife and whatever is going through their mind. But that's not, that's, because what else can you do? No more than throw them in jail and throw away the key.
Sounds like excuses to me.
And thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers is excuses. That's the biggest excuse going. And the guns are the major because the guns are going to shoot. They didn't have a gun, they wouldn't be able to shoot. Okay, Dr. Ken, that's my analysis.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Bye. A little bit of flawed logic. If we didn't have guns, you'd just stab the person. You choke them. Then what? You punch them. You push them down the stairs. Like, then what? We're going to outlaw stairs. Got to make all stairs smooth now so you can't fall. You can just slide down. Got to get rid of all the knives, the forks, cooking utensils. Chuck it all. Get rid of it. Because if you kill somebody, you're going. What's up, SE? Mal the Elephant said, I would say self-hate. From where? You know how we say, boy, you really got to hate yourself in order to do that. Where does that come from? Like what? What makes you say it's self-hate? To destroy yourself? Everybody's different. Everybody has a different motivation. Everybody has a different reason for doing what they do. Right or wrong, it's their reason. At least hear them out. That's all I'm saying. At least figure out what the problem is and then fix that. But when you go in, like social service agencies do, well, we have a program and it's for everybody. Everybody got to do 12 steps. I only have problems with 3 of them. Can I do the 3 and then be done? Nope, we got to go through the 12 steps. And then you go through all the 12 steps. Meanwhile, you don't have a job, you don't have a car, you don't have this, you don't have that. Or you can say what? I've said it before. Hey, I live in Glendale. I got a job in Franklin. Can you get me a car? That's my only issue. I got out of prison. I got out of this and everything's set up and I got a job and everything's good and I got my education and everything's wonderful. I just need a car. Well, we got this 12-step program. I don't want a 12-step program. I just need a car. Think if we had a program set where all you did is go, yeah, we verified he has a job. She has a job. They need a car. Instead of me spending $20,000 on a program, I'm going to spend $9,000 and buy you a used car so you can drive from Glendale and take care of yourself. Boom, done. But we don't do that. Everybody got to go through the same thing, and we puff our chest out how proud we are. Meanwhile, got babies that can't read, can't write, can't do arithmetic, going to schools that are full of lead. And do we complain about it? Nope. And you say you care.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yep, one of those days. One of them days. Dr. Ken, the reason behind my post is because when we look at, for instance, most podcasts these days, the only ones that are popular are the ones attacking us and our relationship standards. And I replied to Mao, some black relationship standards are trash. Like, what we doing? Dr. Ken, we all know, why not use the platforms for solutions, though? Because you got to call it out first, then fix it. But you can't just have, I'm going to fix something, but I'm not going to tell you what's wrong. I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. It's the analysis tonight. It's Wednesday. It should be the analysis. That's coming up next. I want to say thank you, X. Thank you, DJ Brother Z. Everybody in Truth Nation, thank you much. Appreciate you. God bless. Take care. And remember, I'm out. See you in 22. That's hours, not days.
your day.
Is this Eastside Double R?
Speaking.
Hey, what's happening then? Tell the family I said what's happening then.
Hey, y'all hear him?
What would you do with $5,000?
Man, I'm about to give back to the hood, you know. Might do a little block party or something like that, but we're going shopping first.
Stay tuned.